let's go make this quilt block from this issue of Block magazine. But first, always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. Let's do another tutorial from this issue of Block magazine, you know, the one that I'm in. So we did the Secret Sisters, the first block, the other day. Now let's do the second block. So the second block is essentially exactly the same thing, only you just turn it a little bit differently. We're going to start with one 10-inch solid square and one 10-inch print square. And the first thing we're going to do is stitch all the way around the outside. And what that's doing is letting us create 4 half square triangles at a time. We're going to sew all the way around, and then we're going to cut from corner to corner and corner to corner. It makes it so easy. Now we're going to sew all the way around with a straight stitch, a 1/4-inch seam, back stitching when we start and when we stop, because my grandma said so.
When I teach this to beginners, I never teach it this way. I always cut the fabric and then have them sew the longest sides together, because this is very confusing if you don't understand what you're doing. So if this is confusing at all to you, just take your 10-inch squares, cut them diagonally from corner to corner, and then again from corner to corner, and sew the longest side of your solid piece to the longest side of your printed piece, pretty side to pretty side, and then open it up and you have half square triangles.
Okay, we've sewn all the way around. We cut here and here, and then look what we have. We have 4 half square triangles. Look at that. Now, we're on page 67 of this edition of Block magazine. This is the July-August edition. And look at this quilt right here. This is what we're making, the Summer Sisters quilt. Now, we're not doing the whole quilt. We're just doing the 2 different blocks. There's this block that we've already done and this block that we're doing now. And we skipped step 1 because that's the borders and we're not only doing the quilt blocks. So now we're following the directions to create the quilt blocks. We've sewn all the way around, we've cut, and we have 4 half square triangles. Now the next page says, for both quilt blocks, we have to cut our half square triangles like this. Do you see that? Let me see. Cut like this right here. So we're just gonna cut them in half. Let me get a cutting mat. And it's important that you cut them the way the picture shows, or they don't turn like they're supposed to. Ask me how I know. Life lessons. I'm piling mine up. If you are uncomfortable at the idea of this, then just cut yours one at a time, okay? Because if I cut all 4 of these wrong, guess I'm starting over. All right, I've cut mine, and now all we're doing is figure this out. This is what we started with, and we're gonna turn it like this. It gives us like this boot kind of shape. So now we're just gonna pick up one piece and the second piece, put them pretty side to pretty side. We're gonna sew down this side, straight stitch, 1/4-inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. And I'm gonna do all of my pieces like this, so when I finish, I have 4 blocks.
A half square triangle block is my favorite because you sew it together, and then depending on how you turn it, you can have so many different quilts. Now, I've never cut up a half square triangle until this Summer Sisters quilt, but it's also pretty amazing because we cut it up, we created the same block, and then we just turned the block different ways, and we have completely different quilt blocks.
Okay, so we've sewn them, and I went and ironed mine. And you've ironed yours or not, whatever you want to do. Everybody's the boss of you. Now, our instructions say to trim our blocks from the top to 6 inches. And what that means is just from the top here, we're gonna cut off until we have a block that is 6 inches. And yes, I'm doing all of mine at the same time. If I can find my cutting ruler, here it is. Okay, so now we have exactly the same blocks that we had when we did the first Summer Sisters quilt block. This one is created with the same quilt blocks, only you just sewed these together differently. And we did this one already. This is the one we're doing now. So we have one block that goes here and one here. It just makes like a circle. You know, like sisters love each other forever and ever. Because, you know, I have a couple of sissies at my house that say sissy means best friend. Now, we're going to sew these together, and look how precious these quilts are. And this is not difficult at all, and something that you could do as a beginner with a stack of 10-inch squares. Now, we're going to sew these 2 together. We're going to sew this one to this one and this one to this one right here. Straight stitch, 1/4-inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop, because my grandma said so.
Patterns are very intimidating to me, so I'm trying to break these down so that they are less intimidating for you.
Okay, we've sewn these together. Now, we're going to open them up and iron them. And then we're gonna sew these two together. So we have this block, or this half, and this half. Do you see how easy that was? Pretty side to pretty side, straight stitch. I know, stop yelling at me. I'm gonna go iron it in a minute. I just don't want to right now because it's so cute. So this side the same way. And that's it. That is our second Summer Sister Quilt block from this issue of Block Magazine. You can grab this issue or any past issue at the link in the caption, or you can subscribe. Totally up to you, but do grab this issue because we're gonna do some more tutorials. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.